Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Habla claro, que lo que tal.
Que lo que.
How's everybody doing? I hope that you have had a wonderful week, a wonderful day. Maybe if you're just now watching and it's morning time, then I hope you're having a beautiful morning. We are back again, Silver Blue episode 2 of season 2. I'm here, Blue Jay Birdie, with the young and lovely Guinness.
Silvia.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have some spicy spiritual quotes today that we're going to enlighten you
And if
with.
you're listening and it's afternoon or night, you're always welcome as well. Because
Absolutely.
you only welcome the people who are listening in the morning. What do you have with people
Oof.
listening in the afternoon or evening?
I don't know. It's just not my spiritual time of day. No. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to exclude you. I don't know. I got lost in the intro. Well, today we're going to be going over some spiritual quotes because honestly, the topic was a bit last minute, but you know what? It's all good. We're just going to, I feel like we need to relate to you guys a little bit more, in
Oops.
terms of, we do have many different people tuning in from, all ages and ethnicities and all of that good stuff, but this
Hmm.
was kind of originated for spirituality in our 20s, so we're going to go over some topics that kind of discuss what other people are going through spiritually and whatever, and just figure it out.
As always, we are always figuring it out.
Absolutely. That
All
is
of us.
life.
That's
Yes,
life.
that's life,
And from
especially
what
in our
I heard,
20s.
not only in our 20s, like people in the 30s and 40s
Yeah,
and 50s and 60s, we are all figuring it out. So we
exactly.
better get used to it.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so what we're going to do today, guys, is I'm going to read a spiritual quote or something. Well, a type of quote, mostly based around
I'm really excited. I
spirituality.
haven't I haven't read what he
Right,
has prepared for us, and I'm
right.
really excited because we'll see. We'll see. I'm a bit scared but excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what your take on some of these things are going to be. Um, yeah, so we're going to
Okay.
read them and then we're going to discuss and then move on to the next topic, guys. So, Sylvia, are
Let's
you
do it.
ready?
I am ready.
Okay, okay. The first from Seek Mastery.
Sick mastery.
hmm Discipline has become a dirty word, but maybe it's what's missing in a world where everyone expects instant gratification.
Ooh, what a topic.
Yeah, that has layers
Discipline.
to that shit.
Ooh, why is it a dirty word? Why
I
do
knew
we
you were
have
gonna start with that.
we have all these like bad connotations about discipline and routine and all those things, and I had them as well. I was
Mm,
can you hear me?
yeah.
um when I started like my journey, like when I finished university after 2 months working in an office and like realizing it was not for me. I already knew, but I tried it anyways, and well, it was only 2 months. Some people spend years until they
hmm
realize, but
Yeah, true.
then I was like, no, that's not for me. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to have like a routine, and like I don't know about discipline, but it also sounded like a boring word, like
hmm
yeah, like I just want to be free and do whatever I want to do. What
Truth.
happened is that that's what I did. I started being free, doing whatever I wanted to do until I started feeling pretty sad and lost in life.
Mm,
And then I was like, what's going on? What's missing? And I actually got even more anxious because he was like, I'm doing what I love. I'm traveling and working on my own, on my own project. I'm doing what I love. Like I have everything that I need. Why am I not happy? Like, if this style that I set for years and years that it was my dream life is not making me happy, how am I gonna be happy?
yeah.
And what I realized is that the problem was that I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have like a structure in my life of where I was going and what I was doing every day. Things didn't make sense because it didn't feel like I was moving forward to some kind of goal every day.
Mm,
And there is when I realized the importance of first having a goal and then having a structure, a routine, discipline, and
right.
everyday work to get a bit closer to that goal. And I realized that it's what in life has made me happy. Like when I was studying, I had these goals, these exams, and even when I was studying, I was pretty happy. Of course, sometimes I was stressed and there was difficult times, but in general, I was pretty like happy. I didn't have this existential crisis that I started having traveling, right?
Right.
Then when I was walking Camino de Santiago, I was super happy and I realized it was because every day I was getting closer to that goal and I had that discipline of waking up 7, 8 a.m. You had to leave the hostel, like they basically kick you off of there and you start walking and it's tiring and hard, but you feel like every day you're making progress. And I realized that is what was making me happy, feeling like every day I was closer to what I want. And that is what discipline gives you. I feel like this feeling of every day present to yourself, be there for yourself, and to be a bit better. So I actually
Absolutely.
feel like I'm sorry for this monologue, but
No,
I
it's
actually
perfect.
feel that discipline is
Freedom.
key. Is freedom. Discipline is freedom, and discipline is a key part for happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I said freedom first because that's something that I've trained myself to believe since, I mean, high school. Like, I think every day of school, after school, I would go and, I was wrestling. And it was around that stage of my life that I started to realize how hard work, dedication, putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something actually gives you, true happiness, purpose, direction, and freedom all together. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I came to realize. And the next thing I want to like point out in that, let me go back to it. The next thing I want to point out in that quote is the part where it says, maybe it's what's missing in a world where everyone expects instant gratification.
Mm,
Now, instant gratification is
a
the
whole
bread and butter of
other
life
topic.
right now. Yeah, like it's right now. I mean, with social media, you have 60 seconds to be impressed. Actually, it's probably even less than that. I think you have about 5
3.
seconds. Yeah, 3 maybe to be impressed. And if you're not impressed in those 3 seconds, then you move it along. It's not gratifying enough. You know what I mean? So that has a whole domino effect in the rest of our system as like a society and as a community. So where discipline has become a dirty word because it's no longer something that is like needed today. You don't need discipline to feel good. After you get a couple of likes on a video,
It depends what you
well,
mean by feeling good.
true, but true. That's true. Um,
But yeah, definitely.
but yeah, like you don't you don't need discipline to trigger those. Well, I guess some people do, but you don't need discipline. Most people don't to trigger that reward system, right?
Mm.
Because they're no longer really trained for that. I feel
Hmm.
like.
I I was gonna, yeah, I have read a lot about this topic because I don't know, it's something that it's I've been really interested on.
Hmm.
And what psychologists say is that instant gratification, for example, when you're on Instagram, right, and you start like seeing different like videos and all those, what it gives you is like a little, like, this like, it gives you some, like, you feel good in the moment, right? You feel like good because you're watching something funny or you're getting some likes or some notification pops up. That makes you like feel good, but it's
Hmm.
actually like a drug. Like you get
Yeah.
addicted to that. You get
Yeah.
addicted to that feeling. And so because of a drug, because it's a drug, you need more and more and more. you feel really bad. And it's
Yeah.
just like you start like depending on those things, and you need more and more input. And now 3 likes is not enough, and now 1,000 likes is not enough, and now you need way more, and it's never enough. You're never satisfied. Yes, at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
it feels like it's making you happy, but it's not. It's like, I don't know, I'm trying to make a comparison with food, right? You have like
Mm.
sugar that give you a quick rush, but then you go down pretty quick, or you have good food that gives you, energy slowly and like at the right time. So I feel like it's kind of like that. You
Yeah.
can get like really like instant gratification and pleasure for a few seconds, but then you need more and more, and you're never satisfied. Or you can start basing your life in discipline and having big projects that you're moving forward to, and those things may make you like really feel satisfied in the longer term.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. Like, how would that instant gratification or lack of discipline affect your spirituality? How would you say?
This is a pretty deep question.
Yeah.
How would that affect spirituality? I feel like for connecting with spirituality, you need to have a clear mind and being able to like being with yourself and not having all
Mm-hmm.
these like distractions that is like distracting you from like going inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go inside, all the answers, all the things that we're looking for are inside us. But if we're constantly like running away from things, not facing things because it's not funny, or it's not something that give us pleasure,
Yeah.
then we can concentrate. We can never like really focus on ourselves and on finding the answers and connecting with this whole, with this spirituality part of us, right? So I feel like
Yeah.
discipline, it's key also to connect with yourself and with
Mm.
your spiritual part, because it comes with discipline, it comes a clear mind, and you go away from distractions. What do you feel?
Definitely that. Because, I mean, honestly, that's pretty close to what I was going to say. Is like, there's the one hand where, um, you know, one of the most spiritual, like, phases of my life was when I had lost my phone here in Colombia. And I realized how quieted my mind was, not having a notification bam, 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 pop up on my phone every single
Mm-hmm.
time to distract me from my thoughts and make me pick up my fucking phone and just be like, oh, what's this? And see a tweet. Okay, now I see a tweet, and do I relate with it or not? And then my mind goes down this whole fucking thing that doesn't matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the discipline, once you have discipline, I feel like it opens up a space for you to focus on what you want to bring into your life, focus on that inner voice inside of you that is guiding you towards the things. Like, if you're disciplined in having a schedule that helps you to build the life that you desire, for example, like if you're a content creator and you've got time set for meditation, you've got time set for creation, you have time set for, the gratification that may be instant even, and that's fine. But you have those time sets for you to, focus on what you need to focus on, and then what you want to have fun for later on. Like, I feel like the balance of discipline gives you so much space to express yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
at the core of all of that, there is spirit. You are a spirit. So the more you're able to actually focus on yourself rather than being distracted by, instant clicks, instant likes, instant scrolling, like all of that. Yeah, I think discipline is the key to spirituality or spiritual connection, I would say.
And at this point, I think it would be interesting to talk about what is discipline. Like, what do we understand by discipline? Do you want to
Mm.
start answering the question? I have an answer for myself, but I'll let you start if you have an answer.
Let's hear yours.
Okay, so for me, discipline means that you do whatever you said you were going to do, regardless of if you feel like doing it or not. So it's not about if you feel motivated and you wake up like ready to do it and you feel like doing it, or not. Like either case, you're just gonna do it. If you said you were gonna do it, if it's in your calendar, if it's if you committed to it, you go and do it. And I
Mm.
think that's the key to like move forward, because I'm starting to work with helping some women, no? And like the other day, one of them told me like, yeah, the thing is that I sometimes don't feel like doing it. And I was
Mm.
like, of course, sometimes you don't feel like doing it. Like so many days I
Yeah.
wake up and I don't feel like doing the things that I have to do. Does that mean like I don't do it? No, you do it either way. Like same as when I was walking Camino de Santiago, many days I didn't feel like walking. My feet hurt. Like my whole body was in pain sometimes. But you do it regardless of if you feel like it or not. And that's what makes you keep going and closer to your goal every day. Of course, then the most important part is enjoying that process, right? But it's not about if you feel like doing it or not. It's about if you said you were going to do it, you actually do it. And that's what gives you trust in yourself. And that's another whole thing, because I feel like that's linked
Definitely.
with self-love, and that's another whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think I would add to that by saying discipline is staying focused on what things you know you need to achieve
Mm,
in order to have what you want in life. Um,
mm-hmm.
in simpler terms. So, yeah, as an add on to what you said, yeah, it's doing what you know you need to do and sticking to it regardless of what happens, and even making subtle changes if you need to, adjusting, but making sure that you stay focused and consistent
Yeah.
on building and moving forward.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and of course you can do subtle changes, and of course you can change your goals. It's not like you set your goals today and you never change them, but it's about doing it in a conscious way. Because most
Right,
of the time what happens is that it's not like we don't do things because we decided consciously that we're not going to do it for whatever the reason is. What usually happens is that we don't do it because we leave it for later and leave it for later and leave it for later until it's not done. So we actually
right.
wanted to do it, but we end up not doing it. So it's about becoming conscious about it, and whatever you commit, you do it. And then consciously committing to like not do certain things if you don't feel that that's the way anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a perfect breakdown. I'm so glad we started with that one.
We already have a whole episode about
Literally, literally. Leave it down in the comments, guys, if you want another episode on like this, like a full episode on discipline and the breakdown. um, okay, so yeah, let's move on to another one. I like your takes on these. These are starting to feel pretty spicy.
Indeed.
Uh-huh. Okay, I know which one to go for. All right, so this is. Oof, there's a couple.
Oh my god.
All right, all right.
Dun,
Damn,
dun. I'm scared. You started with a very strong one.
a strong ass one. I was thinking it might have been a little softer, but not. All right, so look, this is a good one. This is a full tweet. It's not exactly a quote,
Okay.
but I think we've both felt something similar to this, and I feel like there's a lot of other people who have felt this before as well, perhaps.
Okay.
I think feeling disconnected with everyone around you can sometimes be a result of you being disconnected from yourself and your inner world.
Mm.
Go too long without nurturing the world within, and the outside world starts to not make that much sense.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Yeah. So that's I have so many
Heavy.
thoughts about that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
trying to like organize my thoughts in my mind.
Telling you that
Um,
shit's pesadísimo. That's yeah,
I feel it has to do with um, when you see yourself as an individual and the rest of like, people that who has nothing to do with you, or if you see yourself as part of the whole, and that's it's spirituality, right? It's just seeing yourself as just
hmm
not one individual who has nothing to do with the rest, but as a part of a whole. Everything is connected. So I feel like when you get too much into your egotistic self, so into your own problems and your own complaints and why are things not happening as you wanted? Like, why is everything, why is everyone trying to hurt you? Why is the world so dangerous? You start disconnecting from the world, but at the same time from yourself, from what you really are. When you start connecting with that spiritual part, with yourself, which is inside you, but of course outside you because everything is connected, then is when you started feeling, in my opinion, you start feeling more connected, more part of the whole. Everything starts flowing naturally, right? So I do feel like it makes sense, that tweet, but in the sense
yeah,
of like when you connect with your spiritual self,
yeah.
instead of your egotistic self. Does that
Absolutely.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I feel like I could speak on this from two different personal perspectives. I feel like I can speak from an egotistic side, and I also can speak from a spiritually grounded side, you know.
Mm.
I feel like there's been times where, I had friends that I really bonded with, really connected with, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, we're different. Like, and it's a difference that I'm for some reason not okay with. Like, and have grown like confused, like what's happening right now. What I noticed was that when I wasn't as connected spiritually is when I started to meet these kind of people, which nothing wrong with it. I
Mm.
wasn't very spiritually in tune with myself, but my egotistical personality, let's say my three-dimensional personality.
Okay.
I was meeting people, that maybe, let's say, like to drink, like to go out, like to have, fun and party and stuff. That's one side of me, the earthly side, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. But when I started to grow out of that, and I feel like I have a fast growing rate as a person. Like I feel like I learn very quickly and I start to seek knowledge very fast and pick up so once I started to realize that partying and shit was getting like old for me, I was just like, I don't know, like something is off. Like I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like talking about this. Like you guys, you want to talk about blah blah blah, but I'm feeling something else. This is where the spiritual side started to meet conflict. And it was like on the inside, I was seeking more of a spiritual path.
Mm.
Understanding still that these were people who reflected a part of me. That was how we were attracted to one another. You know what I mean? How we became friends. And I started to realize around the same time the people you surround yourself, actually, really, anyone that you attract into your life is a reflection of some part of you on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I came to a conclusion later on, realizing that it's okay to grow or outgrow people, and you are part of the whole, you are part of the collective. But like, there's also people who are going to have different paths, and I started to seek a different path. I started to seek different knowledge and conversations and different connections. Um, I think let me go back to the tweet real quick so I can. There's so many fucking things that come from this
Mm,
too. Like, let's see. I think feeling disconnected with everyone. Yeah, so I was disconnected from my inner world. That's what was happening. And I didn't know how to explain that to the people around me because they weren't that, they didn't really think about things like that, like the inner versus the outer world, But I knew I was starting to feel things like, nah, there's something deeper going on. There's something deeper I'm feeling and seeking, but I can't really converse with him. And felt like, the spiritual side was a part that was missing and that I needed to really pursue. So that's just like an example of when I could feel it kind of on both levels at a point in time in life. Mm,
yeah, that's beautiful. I You remind me of a quote my mentor said the other day, and she said, "We are all volunteering to be masters of others, so masters in the way of teachers. We're always being teaching. We're always teaching other people things without us knowing, right? As and the same goes with other people with us, like."
yeah,
Everyone is like teaching us something, and like we're learning lessons all the time from what happens. And it's both ways. People are doing it with us and we're doing it with other people, consciously, unconsciously. And it's beautiful how everything connects in that way, right? And we're just like
yeah,
volunteering without us knowing to like teach other people's things.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like that you even brought that quote up because that junk resonated with me so deeply that I didn't even get to really express what I felt about it. But yeah, like I think even that was another thing that caused a bit of a, I don't want to say separation. It caused like realization to stir. I don't want to say this in like an egotistical manner, but like I felt like we were just beginning to like, you know, resonate on different levels. Like I
Yeah.
started to feel like the smartest guy in the group, I guess, and I never want to be that. So it's like it's time to get
Yeah.
some new knowledge. It's time to,
It's a
change the
bit tricky,
environment.
that part, right? Because
Yeah.
what is like, this like spiritual ego, or what is, it's just not,
Yeah.
nobody's better than other people. It's just like we're in
Exactly.
different
Different
frequencies. We're,
phases. Yeah.
yeah, we're, we have different interests, and sometimes we connect with people and sometimes we don't. And I don't know, I think we've mentioned this before, but when you're changing and evolving, it's completely normal that you start feeling like you don't connect that much with some people that you used to connect before. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because to go to the next level, to keep evolving, you need to leave behind 80% of who you are. People, thoughts, everything is related. And because we project what we are, when there's changes, sometimes we change and then suddenly it's like that doesn't make sense anymore. These people, I don't have the
Mm-hmm.
same interests. And in order to make space for other people and other things to come, it's necessary to let go of certain people. And it's not about I'm better so I need to go and
Right.
do my own thing. It's just like right now we are in different paths, and that's completely okay.
Completely normal and completely okay. Absolutely. Beautifully wrapped up. I love your mind on this stuff. I love to hear it. Woo. All right, you ready for the
Yeah,
next?
yeah, let's do a last one.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, so
Let's
choose
see.
wisely.
Yeah, let me pick a good last one. Okay. This is a good last one. You don't always attract what you are. You sometimes attract people who are in desperate need of what you are. Um,
Say it again.
okay. I'm gonna say this one and then what's on top of it. So you don't always attract what you are. Sometimes you attract people who are in need, in desperate need of what you are.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And then the quote on top of that tweet is sometimes people are drawn to others who possess qualities or skills they admire or need. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful opportunity to make a positive impact on their lives.
Okay. So that reminds me of this, like we're becoming the people we're around, right? So it's both ways. It's not only
Mm-hmm.
you're becoming them, but they're becoming you. So you're either learning from them or they are getting inspired by you, or both in the
Mm-hmm.
same way. So of course, like, it's not only like whatever you want you attracted, and then, because then you would only you would only be around people that you want to be, right? But
Right.
it's also that people who need to learn from what you are, for who you are, your ways of being, your ways of everything. You attract those people, right? Because yeah, it flows both ways. It's like who you want to be and who needs to become more like you. So it's,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it's beautiful that, like, and it's a part of, like, we're here not only for growing and evolving, but also to help people in that journey, right? To help others, again, consciously or unconsciously, because sometimes it's not like we don't offer, but people learn things from us, at either way, for the good way or in a bad way.
Right.
Like, for example, every time someone get angry or annoyed by you, they're learning, they're on their own process of learning their own things. Like, you triggered something on them and it has nothing to do with you, just
Right.
something that you trigger on them. But yeah, basically, I think it makes sense in the way that, yeah, like, we're also here to show other people and to guide other people.
Definitely, yeah. Have you ever felt um more on one side of the scale than the other? So like you were more let me go back to it real quick just to like further solidify that question. So, okay, have you ever felt more like you've, let's say you were in like a relationship or whether that's a friend or a boyfriend or whatever. Have you ever felt like you attracted shit? Hold on. So like
We're
did you
talking about deep stuff here.
yeah, it's deep. So have you did you feel like you more attracted what you are in terms of like your this person had the same qualities or very similar qualities, or did you feel like more of you attracted someone in desperate need of what you have? Like did you ever feel more towards one side than the other? I hope
Now
that
that I
makes
think about
sense.
it, I don't think I've attracted what I am. I either attracted what I need or what I can offer. But I
Mm,
don't know if you attract what you are, because what you are, you already are. Like, you don't need that part. So I
mm,
think you either, like, now that I think about it, feel like, and I think it also has something to do with growing up, right? I feel like at the
yeah.
beginning, you're always attracting, like, what you want to be. You're always focused on who I want to be. How can other people help me? How, what can I make the most of this relationship? What can I learn from this? And then the more you grow, I feel like you start being more like, okay, so how can I help? How can I help others? How can I, everything that I learned, how can I give it to the world? And I love this metaphor about a seed, right? A seed, when it starts growing, that seed needs to, like, keep as much nutrient, and get as much nutrient as possible, because it's still weak.
Yeah.
But that seed starts growing and eventually becomes a tree, right? And when the tree is big and strong, then it's the moment when the tree can give fruits. So,
Mm,
the tree can give and give back to the world because it's enough strong, and it can, yeah, basically give back. So I love that, because I feel like it happens with humans too. And,
oh
at the
shit.
beginning, as we grow up, it's all about us, and it's good because it's what we need. But there's a certain point when you're like, okay, how can I give all that I learned, everything that all the situations that I overcame. I can see other people who are like facing the same challenges. How can I help them? Because I've done it, so I can help them in that process, right? So
Mm.
I already forgot the cue and everything, but I think that's something interesting.
Definitely. I didn't even consider to think that way like you just did. That's crazy. Ooh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like for me, I've definitely been on one side or the other, and sometimes in between. Like more so now. I'm just gonna go ahead and say you. I think I've like attracted a very. I think we both learn from each other is what we are and what we. Hold on, let me go back. I gotta see it again. Now, not desperate need. I don't think either one of us are in desperate need of.
Yeah, that sounds really bad. That there's
Yeah,
desperate need.
yeah, that shit sounds like I can't live without
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but nah, I do feel like there's certain things, how like we complement each other. So I feel like
Mm,
there's things about you that I knew that I've needed in terms of like an extension of who and what I am,
mm-hmm.
and vice versa. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we know who we are and what we want to do in life and have big dreams and I think that's another thing. Both seeing that we're both like dreamers and have big visions, like that's what
Mm-hmm.
I am, that's what you are. And then there's that extra step where it's like, okay, I don't have this, but she does. And I can learn from that. And vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's like the cake with the cherry on top. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say,
Mm.
but but you get
But
it.
yeah, I think it's beautiful to see relationships, all kind of relationships, right? Friends
Hmm.
and family, all everything. Like that. Like we are not the same, and that's perfect. And that's what it has to be, because if we were all the same, what would be the point? We're different. The other people are people we can learn from, and people who can learn from us. And that's beautiful. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
And sometimes learning from someone means that something really annoys you until, because you need to go deep and think about what is it that it's annoying you so much about this person. And it's just part of it. I don't know. I feel like
Definitely.
it's beautiful.
It definitely is very beautiful. Like I love it. I knew. See, I told you that was gonna be a good last one.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I think I've been on the other side of feeling like honestly, people being in desperate need of what I think I have felt that too before. Um, can I say I think I've ever attracted someone where I was in desperate need of what they were? Nah, I don't think so.
I don't like the desperate need. Like, I think it's not about being in desperate need, but I think it's more about because
Yeah,
you realize there are things that you had to learn from that person, either from the way they are, or maybe just for the way they act, and maybe because they wait in a way that you don't like at
yeah.
all, and then you need to learn something from to
Right, right,
manage
right.
that situation. So, yeah, I don't know about the desperate need.
Yeah,
Um,
and that is just like a person like, tweeting their mind. So it might have just sounded good for the tweet. But yeah,
yeah,
that desperate need part is
too
strong.
much.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Well, that was three powerful quotes. If you guys like this format, then let us know. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's a good moment to kind of slide out into the rest of the day or what?
I think we said enough to for us to keep thinking about it, and I feel for everyone who's listening to like keep thinking about these things, and let us know what you think. Maybe you don't agree with some things.
Hmm.
Share us your insights, and would love to hear from you. I think, yeah, I think that was beautiful, and I think this format worked very well. Like, I think
I
it's a
agree.
cool way of like keep thoughts,
Yeah,
moving and
yeah.
inspiration coming. So,
Keep things new and fresh and
yeah.
relatable. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this lovely episode as much as we did, and we love you very, very much. And we hope to see you again in the next. So have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is. I got all of you this time.
Thank you for listening. We love you.